Hey, hi everyone. Good evening. Hi everyone. How are you all doing? Welcome everyone joining from multiple platforms LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. It's amazing to see you all here today. Drop in a quick thumbs up if you are here. Ask your friends to join in. Hey, hi Kanishka. Hi Sarah. Hi Adavi. I see people are excited for the session. Even I am excited equally. Yeah, ask your friends to join in. Hey, hi, Bindu Smita. Join in from any platforms they want to LinkedIn, YouTube. We are live on multiple platforms. So come on, ask them to join. Hi, everyone. Hello to all those who have joined right now. Good evening. Hi, everyone. We are back with yet another session for girls who yap. Hi, everyone. I see all of your comments. Great to see you all here today. All right, awesome. I do see a lot of people, a lot of excitement. So, hello everyone, welcome back to yet another session for the Girls Who Yap Fellowship. Today, we're talking about something every builder eventually has to face. You've built the product, but now comes the main part, getting people to actually notice it. We're going to learn how to turn that product into a launch people remember, and more importantly, how to think about announcing it from day one. So let's get into it. Today we have Kavya Prasad, co-founder of Scribble, joining here with us today. She's worked across communities, growth, and creator led distributions and has built a network of 50,000 creators through Scribble. What's especially exciting is that she just took Scribble through its own product hunt launch, finishing as the number three product of the day. So, we are getting these lessons straight from someone who's just been there and done that. So, Kavya, we're really excited to have you here today.
Hey Shikha, thanks for having me. Very excited to share my journey with y'all. Like you said,
Likewise.
we've very recently done this product hunt launch and it was quite successful. So excited to share all the tidbits I learned through the journey.
Definitely. I think the stage is all yours now.
Awesome. So I made a quick presentation. So I'm just gonna like start with sharing my screen. Um,
Sure.
all right. Cool. Just confirm if you can share my screen and you can see my screen and I'll get started.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's visible.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So before we get into the whole product hunt side of things, I wanted to quickly introduce myself to everybody. So I'm Kavya, and I'm co-founder at Scribble Network. And what we do at Scribble Network is essentially help brands show up in AI answers. So like what SEO was, for Google search engines, GEO is the new SEO in the AI search era. So that is what we're building in very quick terms. We have a creator network of about 53K creators, and we make about 40K in revenues. And I've been doing this for building products for 8 years now. And my journey started funnily as a designer. So I'm an architect by degree, but I sort of started exploring the design side of things and got into product, and then started building my own product. So I got my first stint in tech was through crypto. So I got paid in Bitcoin for some work that I did in 2016, and I kind of got into the crypto rabbit hole. And ever since then, I've been in emerging tech mostly. So about 4 months ago, we pivoted to building this AI product, and been doing this ever since. It's been quite successful. And through the course of like being a founder, there have been some products that worked really well, some that didn't, and I think that's a story for another day that I'd love to share with you all as well. Okay, so getting into the product health side of things, I think Shikha did give like a quick introduction about what we did there. So we launched this product that I was just talking about, the GEO product, in on Product Hunt about a month ago, and we did a day rank of 3, got 425 upvotes and 777 followers on that day. We also ended up getting a lot of users for our product as well. As a B2B product, we needed brand signups, and it's not a free product. You have to pay $99 to use it. It's a SaaS. So 36 brands was a good kickstart for us to start off. So in the first 24 hours, we were able to get those many. And since then, we've grown quite considerably because of using this momentum to kind of get into other channels and other marketing work as well. So I wanted to share one thing, right? Like the product hunt launch the day is one of the most least important things. What you do before the launch is very, very important. So you need to start your work way before you actually launch the product. And that is essentially what I'm going to get into through this entire talk. So a launch is basically when you, for the first time, ask strangers if they like what you're building or if it's something that they care about. You usually, share it with friends and family, and generally they have this tendency to always say, this is great work, and they always, push you on. But strangers really don't have a need to do that, and that's when you actually find if your product has any sort of market fit or not. And there are 3 things that you test within when you're testing out a launch of a product or like the fit of a product in the market. So can you say what your product does in one line? And if it's something that a stranger immediately gets, it's great, right? This is easy to understand. Most people will understand it. And if they don't, that's a confused user for you, and you need to rebuild on how you communicate what this product does. Do people already know that you're building this, right? Like you can't stay stealth and suddenly one day say, hey, I'm building this, come everybody support me, right? You need to be constantly talking about this problem, and your problem, it's not just what you're solving, but the entire market problem that you've seen, right? Like I saw this gap and I'm solving this gap through my solution, and this needs to be said over and over again in innovative ways. You can't just say it once and expect things to kind of fly. And the launch day is when everybody shows up because you've been talking about it for so long and you've shown that you're passionate about this problem and you want to solve this problem, right? And can you take feedback in public, right? Because any product is not going to be liked by every single person. You're always going to have critiques. You're always going to have even people you probably respect in the industry coming and saying, I don't see it, and that's okay, right? It's all data for you to work with, and it's all iterations that you build on top of, right? So these questions, and I'm not just talking about Product Hunt, but I think entirely everywhere, right, that you talk about a product, everywhere these 3 questions always matter, right? If you do a launch video, if you share a pitch deck with an investor, if you're doing a demo day on a landing page, wherever you say it, these 3 questions matter a lot. So Product Hunt is another way to launch your product, but it is not the end all, right? Like you have so many things that you need to do, and like I said, it's only the start of your journey. It isn't the end. So this is a great way to showcase it to strangers, but it's not where you stop. In fact, that which is when you need to like really 2x or 3x your speed of shipping things and talking to new users and building that data point for yourself. So now getting to what I actually learned about this entire journey, right? And there are so many anecdotes and things that once you do it, you realize. Like when I started, of course, I also went through only a lot of theory. I spoke to a couple of founders who had also done launches, but nothing really worked until I did it for myself, right? Um, so the first thing is that on Product Hunt, your page is your promise. It is the most important thing that communicates what you do, and you need to iterate and make it just perfect, right? Don't overpromise. Don't talk about the vision. On Product Hunt, the users that come in are essentially there to test your product, to give you feedback, and also potentially become your users. So always say what there already exists. Don't communicate things that don't isn't there or isn't your roadmap for the future, right? So every line on that page is an expectation that the user has, so when they read it, they're expecting to see this as well. So always make sure that's all clear, concise, and you're never kind of over promising and not delivering what you promised. So and your page needs to, so there are some examples. So I have set up a checklist at the end of this discussion, and that's a link I can share with Shikha. She can share it with you all. There are links that I've shared of like very popular pages that have done really well in terms of communication, in terms of visuals, demo videos. So you can always use that as well as a reference point and try to mimic that for your product, right? And your first impression matters a lot for the users that come in as well. In terms of how you submit the product, so once you figure out what your launch communication is and fill up your profile and all of that, you submit it on to Product Hunt, and you can essentially schedule a launch, right? And launches happen at 12:01 p.m. UTC, and this is on a daily basis. So you can schedule a launch 1 month in advance as well, and ideally the earlier you schedule, the more chances of you getting featured, because the Product Hunt team essentially goes through all of them and looks at projects that are serious, are building something that the users want, and they tend to feature it. So giving them a longer gap is good, but you can always schedule it a day in advance as well. Honestly, personally, we scheduled it about 4 days in advance. So no said rule that if you schedule it earlier you will be featured, or vice versa, but it's always good to do it a little earlier. We were a featured product, and I will tell you why. There was a very obvious reason why we were featured, and that's something I'll get to as we go forward. So in terms of how the flow works after the first after you launch, is that the first 24 hours are very crucial. So that's when the upvotes come in, and in those first 24 hours, the first 6 hours after you launch, all the upvotes are masked, so nobody can see who's upvoting or how many upvotes you have. So you need to really like push your community to start upvoting at that point, right? And only after 6 hours is when the numbers are revealed, and that's when you know where you stand. But if you're featured, more likely or not, your upvotes go up, because you'll be one of the first 3 products that people see when they get on to the that day's launches on Product Hunt. So that's super important. So being featured almost always, make sure that you're in the top 5 at least, or top 10 at least, right? Also, aged accounts on Product Hunt are very important. Product Hunt's upvote, like if I create an account today and I upvote a product today, it will not be considered as one vote. It might be considered as a 0.1 to anywhere up to 0.9, based on your weightage and the activity on that profile, right? New profiles almost never give you any sort of movement. So expecting, like your family or friends to come in and create an account the same day and getting an upvote is not going to get you it. And the more new users come in and vote on your product, you might potentially get shadow banned as well. So you don't want to do that. So you want to warm up this community in advance, and you always want to have people already interacting in that ecosystem to come and upvote. Those votes matter a lot for you. And yeah, what you communicate on your profile matters a lot as well. So, what happened on our launch days? We essentially had decided to launch one day, and this is like something that we decided to hold back because we didn't have a hunter in place. And I'll tell you what a hunter is, and they do add a lot of value for your product as well when you launch. So, because we didn't have a hunter on that day, the person that we spoke to backed out at the last minute for whatever reason. We decided that okay, you know what, we will reschedule this launch, and we'll do it a couple of days later, and only once we have a hunter in place. So we didn't really actually go out on the day that we decided to, and we pushed it by a week's time. And honestly, that was really useful for us because in that extra week, we started warming up more accounts. We started talking to more people. I started communicating with other Product Hunt builders who launched products in the last couple of weeks. It's really good to also get honest feedback from everybody. So sharing your page in advance and getting followers in advance is very, very important before you launch as well, because they all get notified as soon as you launch. So we started doing all of this work in advance. And honestly, these are mistakes that I did because I did it for the first time. And I think because I can share this with you all, you can build this in advance and push it out, in the right manner. So nobody cares about a delayed launch. We pushed it, in fact, an hour before we were supposed to launch, and not there was no penalization. The platform didn't really like stop us from doing this. So it really doesn't matter as long as your next launch is, done the right way. So coming to the hunter is basically a very active product hunt user who can vouch for your product. And usually how you find a hunter is go through products that are in the similar category of what you're building, and look at people who vouched for products like that, reach out to them, right? Be interesting. How we did it is I did a cold outreach to a lot of the hunters that were doing things in emerging tech, in AI, and also in GEO. And one of them essentially responded, and luckily another co-founder of mine was also a friend of his from the past, so it kind of worked out really well for us. But if your product is interesting and it kind of comes in the realm of things that they usually hunt, they're more likely to do this for you, right? Vouch the product for you. And how that looks is that the person who hunts it will be a hunter of the product, and the product will show up on their profile. They usually have a lot of followers, and those followers tend to see your product a lot more, so the visibility is quite high. And this person usually shouldn't ask for money. It's by design that they shouldn't ask for money, but most people do. And if that's the case and you really can't help it, go for it, pay some money, do it, because that vouching really, really pulls you up. We got a hunter on Product Hunt as the number 2 rank of all time. So that really pushed us to becoming a featured product. So the hunter really, really adds to your aura within Product Hunt. So when you do launch with a hunter, you're more likely to come in the top 10, even if you don't try, because you become a featured product, right? If they sometimes, depending on how important your launch is, I would still suggest, if a lot of people are asking you to find the right hunter and pay some money. But by design, this is not the case. And unfortunately, this has become sort of like a monetization layer for a lot of hunters. And I don't blame them. They have a lot of distribution, and that's what you need for your Product Hunt launch. So what you should do before you launch, right? Like warm up the community you have, start reaching out to people way in advance, right? I wouldn't say, decide on the product and do it. I would say start ideating with people, right? That's how they resonate with you. That's how you build relationships. And then continue that conversation, right? Once you get their buy-in that, yeah, I'm going to vote for you, don't let it go there. Get them into like a newsletter, get them to subscribe to you, keep sharing more information about your progress, where you're at with the launch, where you're at with the product. And it's all very important for you to keep in touch and keep you at the top of their heads, right? So start a group chat, DM them, make sure that you're in touch with all of them, right? Like that community is what's going to give you that immediate push once you launch. Support other founders on PH. This is something that I did very, very seriously. Every day I would look at the top 20 products that launched, and I would then reach out to them on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is something that most people connect on Product Hunt, and Product Hunt kind of pushes you to connect LinkedIn because it considers that as a validation layer. So your profile also is weighed more higher than someone who hasn't connected LinkedIn. start be very very available on LinkedIn, be very very available on Reddit, start pushing out content on Reddit. There are a lot of cool subreddits that can support you in this journey. Product hunters and product hunt launches are ones that are very specific to product hunt. You need to have some comment karma within the Reddit channel to comment and post, otherwise you will not be allowed to. So all of this needs to be done in advance, right? So there's a lot of work before the launch day. The launch day in itself is just activating all the channels that you've built so far along. So based on your product, if there are any other subreddits that you can probably share some insight in, that hey, I'm building this is the kind of insight I got. All of that is very appreciated in the Reddit communities. So they tend to start following you. You'll start getting DMs from people. All of that happens as well. So Reddit is also a very, very important channel for you to start getting upvotes from people you probably don't know, who are not in your region, and that all of that kind of compounds for you, right? There's another tool called Launchpack that I discovered through all of this. In fact, someone on Reddit suggested it to me. And it's basically a product where you get a vouch for a vouch. So there are other Product Hunt founders who are, who are on that platform. All you need to do is say that on your launch day, I will upload your product. And what you need to do is then share a screenshot of that upload on this product. And it'll be like a vouch for a vouch. You can, we got about 200 people that vouched that they would upload for us, and vice versa. So we are, continuing to give into that favor as well. But this gets genuine people who are interested in this community vouching for you. And they're also founders, potentially your users, people you could spitball with, ideate with. So it's a great community to be a part of. And it was very, very helpful for us. So I've shared the link to this as well in the checklist, so you can take a look. So your page is the product for that one day. So you need to be very clear. So we spent a good amount of time, and I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed to say how long we spent on, just the tagline itself. Because when people look at the list of products that are launched for the day on Product Hunt, all you can see is the name of the company, the product, and the tagline. That's it. There's nothing else that they actually see about your product, and your logo, of course. So with these three things, what makes them click you over all the other, products out there, right? And it needs to be very solution oriented. So your tagline shouldn't be what problem you're solving, rather what outcome you're giving your users, right? And that really works in your favor, because users come in if they immediately find it important and useful for them. So KOL, we did some KOLs as well on LinkedIn as well as on Twitter. So these guys spoke about the product and got some organic interest as well. Product Hunt, everything happens within the Product Hunt community. But if you want a community from the outside to also find this interesting and come in, you can also spend a little bit of your budget on KOLs, and they don't come in at very high costs. Something between $25 to $100, and you can get about 4 to 5 people posting about you, and that really adds to the aura of everything that you're doing. On that day, you need to make as much noise as possible, and that sort of elevates your brand, and you need to make sure it's done. And it doesn't have to be someone you pay, right? It could be a friend who is vouching for this. It could be just UGC, right? Like people screen recording your product and then sharing their views about it, like reaction videos. It could be anything, right? It could be micro influencers. They don't have to have 100K followers. All of this adds up. In fact, when regular people do it, people tend to trust that a lot more than a KOL, because most people do sponsored posts as KOLs. So try to get people who are active on social media, who resonate with your product, your early users that you've probably done on a beta test, to come in and vouch for you, right? Publicly. It's also important to also have that push externally and not just internally within that community. So yeah, there was this very bitter, well, I don't think it was sweet at all. It was quite bitter that happened to us. So we were number 2 till 2 hours before the 24 hours closed. So once you launch, the first 24 hours are critical, after which the ranks are stabilized, and that's what your day rank is. So you need to keep active and continue pushing for momentum and getting people to upvote till the very last minute. Otherwise, you'll be pulled down. So in the last hour of the closure is when we went from 2 to 3. and we were not able to get back up. We tried everything. We got all of our families, all of our friends doing it. We pushed out enough things on our social media channels, on our newsletters, and I think everyone who upvoted had already upvoted, and we didn't really continue that momentum. And that pushed us to 3, and someone else came on to the 2 rank, and till like 11 we were number 2, and it was quite saddening, but 3 is not too bad, and we've kind of accepted it. GG to the team that hit 2 just before that. But this was a interesting experience that I thought once it's set, once the 6 hours are done and you're at one particular rank, you're no way you're going to go down, but you actually do, and it happened to us, right? So don't stop working towards it for the first 24 hours. It's going to be hectic, but make the best use of it, because it is worth it after. And it's been over a month now since we launched, and we are still getting a lot of leads from there. We're still getting a lot of users from there, a lot of questions from Product Hunt, and it's opened a lot of doors for us. So it has been quite useful for us. So another thing that was very surprising is the moment we launched Product Hunt and I put it out on my socials, I started getting a huge flood of incoming connection requests on LinkedIn, on Twitter, asking people asking me that pay me money and I will get you upvotes. Right? Don't do it. It's very bad practice. Product Hunt penalizes it. The product guy at Product Hunt has put a whole thread about it. So if they by accident notice that there is some sort of malpractice happening, they will immediately shadow ban you, and you will not grow from there. And you will have to probably create a new account and a new page to actually get things rolling again. So be very, very careful about that. And it will be very enticing for you to do it as well, because there are moments when we went from 2 to 3 where I thought we should do this, but we held back, and I think we did the right thing by doing that. And in terms of how you communicate upvotes, right? You don't ask for upvotes. That's again against a Product Hunt's policy. You need to ask for support. You need to ask for users to come in and use the product, as opposed to saying, come upvote my product, right? You don't want blind upvotes either. You want people to actually use the product and share comments and share some insight on this or feedback on this, right? Externally, if you ask for upvotes, that's penalized. So you should always say support, and usually ask people for feedback, right? And that's a lot of founders are more than happy to try a new product and give feedback. They kind of live for this stuff. And there was a moment where we ended up getting spammed by very, very similar comments. So we had over 100 comments, out of which at least 10 of them were exactly worded with very strange names coming in, geographies that we didn't really target as well. We realized that this was some sort of like a spam bot that was coming in, and I don't know how we kind of hid that. But they were engagement farming. Maybe they were building their own Product Hunt profile, so they were just like sort of spamming our comment section. Make sure to report any sort of suspicious comments that come in. Those things are penalized as well. So if the Product Hunt team notices that, okay, you're a top rank and you have all of these shady looking comments, there's a chance that they shadow ban you again. So be careful of those. We reported at least 10 comments this way that were very similar, and to make sure that our engagement doesn't dip. So also, if you launch something, like keep practicing on launches, right? Like don't do your main launch as the first launch. Launch whatever you have built in the past, right? At a hackathon, maybe like a weekend project, something that you saw that you thought you would fill the gap for, that you built out, vibe coding. Just put it all out there, right? They don't have to be perfected products. As long as you are pushing out enough products and you have an active profile. So I have pushed out some products before I did the main launch, everything around GEO, but it was very important for me to understand the lay of the land. And also, we did not get a hunter for that. There was zero budget put in. It was just us putting it out there and getting users. So I shared it on my social media. I shared it with some of the Product Hunt community folks, and people came and used the product. That's still running. It's one of our free tools on our product as well, on Scribble. So keep trying to warm up your page by hunting more products. So build something, put it out there. Build something, put it out there. Iteration is key, and you will eventually understand how the community works as well. And if you launch something that people need, it will automatically happen. You don't need to get hunters. You don't need to get any sort of push, it will actually just roll up. If it's a very interesting, innovative product, you really don't need anything. People come in because it's interesting, right? Okay, so in terms of expectations of what a product hunt launch does for you as a product or a business in my case. So we got 36 people coming on current on that day after the first 24 hours, and that's been a very good kickstart for us. And they were all paying B2B customers. And again, because it's a business product, we didn't get as many. If you push out like a consumer product, you can see the numbers go up drastically. This would be maybe in the 200s or 300s, right? And that's the kind of numbers you see for consumer products. We got a lot of feedback, we got a lot of leads, we got a lot of conversations going. All of that is great, but it wasn't enough to actually like push everything to virality, right? This was a beginning for us. It wasn't the end of our journey. And this was a good kickstart because then we could use this to actually talk to other businesses that we were in conversation with. But at the end of the day, we do have to do a lot of business development work. We do a lot of marketing work to get more numbers. We still see a small trickle from the Product Hunt community, and we keep quite active on the community. We push out a lot of updates on what's happening on the product, features that we pushed out and shipped, all of that. And we get a lot of upvotes and people asking for more data and things, but it slows down after the launch, right? So don't think of this as your, I've done this and yes, I'm going to be successful, right? Like there's so much work, more work that comes into actually building that product after. So like I said, Product Hunt is not the solution to your distribution problem. It's the start, and I think it builds from there. It's a good place to test out and get feedback as well. So this is a great testing ground for any sort of product. Okay, so things before you have anything to launch, and I'm assuming a lot of people are building something in this fellowship that you want to launch. Make sure that you have a product account today, right? Like go out, get started, build your account, and start getting active, right? Spend a little time every day upvoting a couple of products, look at products that resonate with you, put in some comments, check out new products. In fact, I go through Product Hunt every other day and I find something that I can potentially use for myself. There are a lot of automation tools, a lot of productivity tools, all of these that you very jugadu stuff that you would actually want to try out. So I keep using different products on Product Hunt as well, and commenting on people's products with feedback, with suggestions, all of that, right? So start doing that for yourself, and it's a great place for you to keep up with what's happening in the industry as well. So and this warms up your account, so when you're ready to push something, you have a good account that will actually get visibility. Start building your 200 people. Like I said, start talking to people in advance. Don't build in stealth. Don't be shy. Build in public. I think that's the way you can put your word out. And you, in a lot of cases, until people read what you're building, they don't even know there's a problem or a gap in that, right? For them to know there's a problem, because they may not be seeing it the way you do, you need to put it out there. So talk in public, build in public, put out screenshots, show progress, show the dirty stuff as well, right? It doesn't always have to be glamorous. Be realistic. Sometimes you have a bad week. Sometimes something broke. There's a bug that you had to fix for 5 hours, and that's all okay, right? As long as people notice, resonate, and know that, okay, this person's very passionate about this problem, I'm going to follow them. That's very, very important. Like I said, launch small things in the get-go, right? Anything you can, a part of your product, a demo, an ancillary product you built, even a weekend project, something you're passionate about, anything at all, right? Like it could be the smallest thing, but put it out there, see how the community reacts to it. Again, talk in public about it. I launched this on Product Hunt. You will see a lot of supporters come in. And with every launch, you will start seeing more and more followers coming in. And it really helps you when you have the big launches to push up. So these are a couple of things I think you should start out immediately if you do have a product you want to launch and get distribution for. Don't waste time, right? Get on this. And these are very low-hanging fruits to start off with. And a couple of things that I would do differently from the last time. I would start the outreach way, way earlier than I actually did. I think we took it quite easy and we thought a hunter would kind of carry the weight of everything. But the hunter is only the person who will kind of kickstart everything. But it's your might and your community and your channels that will work for you in the long run. So, sure, immediately when a hunter pushes something out, everybody that follows the hunter gets a notification, but that's about it, right? And if they see that notification at that point in time, they'll come and upvote it. There's like a vouching thing, so like, oh, this hunter actually likes this product, I will go like it too. Those are like initial things that happen for you, but at the end of the day, it is your community that has to come and vouch for you in the long run. So start that outreach earlier, and I should have done it too, right? Never let channels go quiet. This is my, number 2 to number 3 journey. I think we took it a little too relaxed in the end, thinking, okay, this is not going to really move, but it did. So communicate, keep continuing to talk to people, push for more people, ask people to ask their friends to upvote this, check out their product, check out the product, comment. All of these go a long way, right? Even the smallest communication goes a long way. So don't disregard that, okay, this didn't get any views. This adds on and compounds to the larger picture anyway. Warm more accounts earlier. So we have a community of creators, like I said. We had a lot of them start warming up their accounts a little too late. We should have done it a lot earlier, and we could have gotten a lot more upvotes. And unfortunately, we didn't do it on time. And I didn't know what warming up an account meant. It's more work than it seems, right? It's not just creating an old account; it's also staying active in that account. So if you have people in your circles who are there, your supporters, tell them to create an account right away, right? If they don't have one, and if they do, tell them to reactivate it and start upvoting and commenting and being active in that community in advance. Report comments earlier on. I realized a lot later that these were, sus comments that were coming in, and I should have done that a lot earlier. This was something that was notified by a community member that you're being spammed, watch out. And that's when I started, reporting spam. And this is something that, you guys don't have to do because you already know about this. And plan the week after the launch, right? Like once the launch day is done, don't go silent. That'll kill any sort of visibility, any sort of growth that you have in the product. So make sure that you keep talking about this product going onward, right? Keep a 30-day plan. Continue reaching out to people on LinkedIn, continue building new connections, continue talking to founders that launch the next day. All of them will come in for your support, and you will start seeing more users trickling down. So we did do this, but not to the extent at which we could have. And I feel like a 30-day plan is very, very important, and we shouldn't have stopped in a week's time. Product Hunt was still quite active for a week, and if we had probably stayed more active, we could have essentially trickled down more people into using the product. So it was another learning for us to kind of figure out. So we got number 3, we got 36 signups, and we've been doing this for 2 years, right? Like the community that we built, the 53,000 creators has been built for 2 whole years, and we've started the GEO side of things recently. And because there was so much to see and so much to gain, we did get businesses actually signing up and paying money, which is quite rare on Product Hunt from research that I did later, that B2B products don't do very, very well on it unless they've paid money and done promotions. So for somebody who's done this with very minimal budgets, we did a fairly good job for his first time as a Product Hunt launch. We obviously have a lot more upcoming and a lot more cooler products, and we realized that consumer products do so much better on Product Hunt, so we're going to start exploring launching consumer products on this as well. But it was a fun ride. It was very exhilarating. The first 24 hours were like very nail biting, right? My entire team is sitting next to me, and we're like, oh, we're number 8 now, we're number 3 now, and it just goes up and down, and you're like pushing hard, and it's a lot of fun, right? Like especially when you have a team on your side to do this with you. So that's essentially it. I'm happy to share the checklist. I've linked it in this presentation as well. You can follow me on my Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm open. I'll be more than happy to talk to you all. If you have a launch coming up, happy to share more insight. Happy to connect you to hunters as well. And when you do launch, please let me know. I'm more than happy to upvote your projects as well, and share feedback. So yeah, open to questions if there are any.
For them. And we have received quite some questions in the comment section. If we
Okay.
could take few of them. Devika asks how to make your product stand out when there are similar products already out there, and how to make people aware about the uniqueness of your product in such cases.
Right. So I can give you my experience. So you cannot say which products launch on the same day. So there might be a possibility that there are two competing products launching, but your moat is something that you can mention in your tagline, right? Be very, very clear about what your unique proposition is, and push that out in your first communication. Like for us, we are a geo tool, and there are a lot of geo tools out there. Everyone does monitoring and shows your visibility in AI, but what we also do is close that gap with our creator community. So that's something that we have mentioned almost in the first line of our description, mainly because everyone knows monitoring is a problem that's been solved, but closing the gap in the creator network or the distribution side of things is not. So make sure your moat is upfront. Unfortunately, you cannot guarantee that you will be the only unique product in that day. Luckily, we didn't have other geo tools coming out, but you can always innovate on the design, make it more interesting. Your demo video can be fun. It doesn't have to be a typical demo video, and maybe that's something I didn't add in my presentation, that I should have. We should have made a more real like fun interactive demo video, right, with the team coming in, and not just this is my product, these are my features, which is what we did. And I think we might have done a lot better if we had done a more relatable, fun kind of video. And I'm seeing some very cinematic videos come out on Product Hunt. I'll add that to the checklist as well. You guys can check it out. But yeah, you can show your uniqueness in design in video, and also make sure your moat is on the tagline and early in your content.
Right. Also, during the session, you mentioned that there are essentially three aspect which is like the website, the product name, the logo, and the tagline. And you mentioned you guys did a lot of work on your tagline to make it like super crucial thing of your product. So I mean, what makes that tagline like good, like make it work? So what should be the tagline like?
So initially, our tagline was what we were like. Oh, we are a geo monitoring tool, right? And that's like every other product out there. It took us some time to think that okay, that's not what people want to know. They want to know what it can do for you, right? So always look at what the end result of your product is. So then we changed it to we can get your brand cited in AI, right? Which is the end result that our customers get. So whatever your product is, look at what the end user gets and make that your tagline, not what you are. So we're a gaming company, or like it's an entertaining cooking game, right? Like you can earn points by it's a P2E game for cooking or something like that, right? So look at what the problem you solve for your user is and make that your tagline. And it doesn't have to be the same as what it's on with what it is on your website. Mainly because your website is targeting a different kind of audience, and Product Hunt, mostly they come in because it's solving something for the user. So they come in out of curiosity, they come in because, oh, okay, this is interesting. And if you sound like a run of the mill company, they probably won't even click on your product.
Right, right, understood. And also, our audience today is quite diverse. It consists of like creators, first time builders, founders, tech people, developers. So, let's say I'm a person who's a first time builder and I've no momentum about my product up until now. So, how should I start the momentum around my product?
I'd say the lowest hanging fruit here is you are definitely on social media. Start talking about it. I think let people around you know first, right? Let your inner circle know that you're building something, that this is a new problem I've seen and I'm solving for. Talk about your journey, how you got here, why are you so passionate about solving this problem. So start with your own channels, your Instagram, and there is no stopping you, right? Like I know a lot of people are particular about like, this is a private channel for me, my Instagram. Then create a new one. Create a new one and start talking about it, right? So I would say start with your channels, and then you'll start seeing people actually resonate with you. It'll give you more encouragement, and you'll start pushing it out more, right? Twitter is a great place, LinkedIn's a great place, even Instagram's a great place, right? And everything is about sharing what you're passionate about, and people immediately resonate. So if you like what you do, people will see it. So start from there.
Right, right. So build in public. That is what I should take and start
Very, very
doing it.
important. Yeah. If nobody
Right.
knows you, who is going to support you, right? Like they don't even know you're building it. So, yeah.
Exactly. And we have a question from Akshaya. She asks, we have learned a lot about product process today, but what about the origin story? What inspired you to build this product in the first place?
Ha, long story. Okay, so so I started off 2 years ago, like I said. So my team and I were actually building a community of these creators to support a product that I was building then, which was a crypto product. So it was called Rabble, and it was essentially a Telegram client that let you do any sort of crypto activity in within that client. So it's like a Telegram chat, except it has all the crypto features that you need: a wallet, dApps that you could potentially work with and stake money in, earn more money, that sort of stuff. So we needed to get the word out about this app, and we built a community of about 11 writers to push the word out. So it went off well, and suddenly there was this other confidant within our community who said, if you can do this for your brand, why not do it for everyone else? And it made sense. So we started building that 11 writers, which is now the 53,000 creators that we have. And we started supporting any sort of startup because we understand the effort it takes to get distribution, to get visibility, and we want to share that with every founder, right? So we started supporting founders who wanted to do launches, who wanted to share their ideas through this community. So it was sort of like a bounty model where they'd put in some money for the community, they'd talk about the products, and they'd get some money in return, right? Very simple model. That grew to the creator network we have, but we realized that this was a very one-time effort with the creators. Uh, uh, Projects would come in, they'd do it once, and they'd vanish. They'd be like, okay, we got what we need, we got some impression numbers, we got some content about us, but what did it do for them in the long run, right? Like, where is the value creation? So we sort of started thinking on the lines of what can we do for long-term value for these projects. And AI visibility, like search is changing from people doing Google search to now asking GPT or Claude about everything, right? And if your brand is there, people tend to trust it more, and you know there is a 4 times more intent of buying a product that's suggested by AI, because you assume that AI has done the groundwork for it. Like you've asked it and it's giving you the suggestion. It's not giving you 10 links. So we were like, okay, if there is a way of getting these creator content pieces become what AI crawls to figure out what the answer should be in the engines, that would be long-term value, because then the traffic keeps trickling down every single time someone asks a question in that particular sector. And that's how we sort of came to that idea that, okay, let's give long-term value. AI trusts UGC, what people say about the brand. If the brand says they're best, that's not everything AI takes. It looks at your reviews, it looks at what other people say about you, and negative reviews are weighted way higher than positive reviews. It'll go on Reddit and also check, what people are saying about it, and then form the answer. So we could be that creator community that can help you form that answer. So we started doing the geo work, and it's actually flown quite well ever since. Products know that this is the future of search, and that's where most users are going to be, and they're ready to pay that money to monitor and actually get the word out. So that's how we ended up building what we're building, and the product sort of built for itself as we went. So it's a monitoring tool with AI agents that help you with on-site optimization, and then the creator community, which helps you with off-site optimization. So it's a pretty cool dashboard. There's a free trial. You guys can totally go check it out.
Definitely. I mean, we would go and check it out. And also, like, have you outlined your origin story? That is how quite interesting way to do it. And also, while you are in the session explaining us how to do different things on Product Hunt, many of the viewers wanted to ask that how do we essentially find the hunters?
So how I did it is, so on Product Hunt itself, maybe I can show you guys real quick what it looks like, right? So
Sure.
like you can see my Product Hunt page right now. So these are the products
Yes.
of the day, right? This is the list. You are featured when you're in the top four. These are the. Am I on? Oh, we're not on 100% visible. Okay. So yeah, you can see the
Mm.
top four products, and this is what a featured product would be. So if you're in this top, every time you come on this page, you see these, and you tend to click on these and upvote these. That's how it usually goes. So in terms of how to find a hunter, so hunters are all over Product Hunt. So I can just show you what our hunter looked like. His name is Kevin David. So he's been in Product Hunt for too many years now, and he's number two of all time. So we got really lucky that I reached out to him, resonated with the product, and turns out that he was a friend of my co-founder. So it kind of fell into place. So he was more than happy to do it. But usually they're pretty careful about what they hunt and stuff. But when you click here, you can actually see every hunter of all time. Like this guy is number one on Product Hunt, and there are quite a few people. Some of them are very popular people, like Ryan Hoover is the founder of Product Hunt, who's also a hunter, and he's number three, funnily. So yeah, you can actually check out all of them. They all have their LinkedIn profiles connected, so you can go and reach out to them, which is what I did, honestly. So I went through all of these guys. I went to their LinkedIn. Some of them responded, some of them didn't, and some of them asked for money. And finally, we zeroed in on Kevin, who essentially did it for us. But you have the entire list laid out for you here.
Right.
So
Understood.
I can also show you
Um,
like a product
hmm.
page.
Can you refresh the page once again? I feel it's frozen on our end.
Oh, okay. Can you see it now? Oops. Now?
Yes, visible.
Great. Yeah, so this is what our product page would look like. Your first comment is also very crucial. Like if you want to resonate with your audience there, that is where you get very personal. You talk about your story, how you got there, and things that you're doubtful about that you want the users feedback on. All of that can go here, right? Any sort of data point. So your first comment is also very very important. So think very genuinely when you write it, right? Like don't make it sound like a thesis, right? It's very personal. Why you built this is where what this is all about. All the thesis stuff can go here, right? Like what the tool does and all of that. I don't know if you saw the product hunters page, but let me show you that again. So if you go to any hunter, like a hunter, you can see on the product page. Um, Oops, sorry, my bad. So you can see a hunter on any product page if they have a hunter over here. And when you click on their profile and you go to like their ranking, you can essentially see hunters from across the board. So he's number one, Kevin's number two, and then it keeps kind of going till whatever number. So what I did is went through all of their profiles, went on their LinkedIn and reached out to them. So there is no easy way to do it, honestly. Some of them
Right.
have calls that you can set up as well really quick. So you can say, like Rohan, for example, is open to calls. So you can just set up a call on his calendar. He has his calendar open. So you can always have a chat with him. We chatted with him as well. So yeah, they're some of them are super helpful. Some of them not very much.
Right, right. And also, this takes me to this question that along this journey, you might be having some ups and downs. Of course, you would have faced it. So, like, was there any stressful part, and how did you handle that?
I think the most stressful part was right before the launch, and then when we were going from three to two, I mean two to three. I think those were the two most stressful parts. Honestly, you just like buck up and go with it, right? Like there's no go. You have to get this done, and you signed up for this. So all you need to do is get going. But yeah, there were moment. It's also very exhilarating, especially if you have like a team, right? You're doing this with everyone's on the same page, everyone's pushing hard, everyone's like, reach out to this person. Oh, we haven't reached out to this person. Let's do this. So it's fun. It's bittersweet. It is very stressful when you're just about to launch and you're like, am I going to be in the featured page or not? Like, but you'll know
Right,
almost immediately, and then things kind of slow down.
of course. Pranita from the audience asks, does outreaching for testing small products before the main launch help with the support of the main product?
Oh yeah, definitely. If you're going to be launching them on Product Hunt as a small feature and then add up to it, yeah, definitely. It every single launch will get you some number of followers, and I have also noticed some without like some products without hunters also doing really really well in the ranks. Those are very very weighted profiles who've been doing this for a long time. So if you hunt more, the better. In fact, if you've hunted enough, you can potentially become one of the hunters on Product Hunt as well, and it seems to be a nice badge to hold.
Right, right. Awesome. I mean, after the session and all the takeaways we have, we would love to carry on this conversation for an hour more, and no one is going to complain. But since we are on a time constraint, I'd like to end with a question which I personally had. Like, all of us are yappers here. And do you think yapping is a superpower for us founders? And where should we essentially do our yapping, whether it be the networking, marketing, or launching our product?
Yes, I think yapping is a superpower, and honestly, I feel like I don't yap enough, and I should start doing it a lot more. And if it comes to like which channels, everywhere, right? Offline, online, everywhere. Just talk about what you love and keep yapping about it. Make sure you always add some value to your readers, and I think it's a very big superpower. And I feel like I come from a time where it was you want to keep everything very personal and private, like. A millennial lifestyle where we weren't born with the internet, and we're kind of getting accustomed to this, right? And it's very abnormal for us to wear our hearts on our sleeves outwardly, like on say social media. And for me to emote on social media was such a hard barrier to cross, right? And but honestly, whoever is very very vocal is seen, people remember them, they always keep coming up on timelines, and it's as simple as that. Like how much time do you uh, put into somebody when they're not visible at all, right? Like if I see someone every single day on my profile, I'm like, I'm thinking about them. But if I see them once a week, I think about them lesser. And if I don't see them at all, they don't exist in my life. And I think it's proportionate to how successful your product becomes as well. And I think algorithms also appreciate consistency, and they always push consistency a lot more. So the algorithms also push you further if you're really vocal and if you talk a lot and start resonating with other people. So superpower, I wish I had it. And if you girls can like give me some advice on this, please, I would love that. I would love that as well.
Definitely. I mean, your advice would be helpful to our future founders who are in here in the audience. All right, all right. I mean, it was a pleasure to have you with us today, Kavya. Your session had super practical takeaways today for all the folks who are watching today, since they have a hackathon coming up and they would be launching it on Product Hunt. So super handy session.
Yeah, happy to support everybody as well. So do share your products and I can give you some advice as well. So reach out to me anytime.
Definitely, definitely. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Kavya.
Thanks so
Have a
much.
wonderful
Have a
day.
good night. What time is it there? It looks like daytime there. It's quite late over here.
No, I'm in India too.
Oh, you're in India. It looks like daytime there. Okay, my eyes are closing. This is like way past my bedtime, so I will
Uh,
see you guys next time.
Definitely. Thank you, Kavya.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, all right. To everyone present here, wait a minute. I have something for you. Tomorrow, we are having, we are going to be revealing something. Yep, the session was pretty great. Guys, I have something in the box for you. Tomorrow, the Dora Dow team is going to reveal something for you. Yes, yes, Asia has guessed it right. We would be revealing the prize pool of the hackathon tomorrow. Can you all take a random guess what that might be? Yes, yes, we are going to reveal the hackathon prize pool tomorrow. Give me some guesses. I need to know what you all guys have thought. Give me some guess. What could it be? The more guesses I get, the more earlier we might reveal it. So, yeah, take a random guess. What do you think it would be? Come on, guys. Yes, yes, multiple things are upcoming. One of the major thing is the hackathon prize pool. I have Pratiksha taking a number. Mm-hmm. Anyone else would like to take a random guess? What if your guess is correct tomorrow? You never know. So just take a random guess. Wow, someone says Lamborghini. Good one, good one. Well, we have something more better. Whoa, I have too many numbers incoming. I do see a few numbers who might be in that range. Yeah, I have too many guesses. No, we are not going to give away hunters for the prize. Even if you're blank, just give me a random number. Flight to Europe. It might be. You never know. One minute you are here, and next minute you are seated on a plane. I love your guesses, guys. Keep them coming. Okay, we have another Porsche. No, we are not giving out any cars, any sports cars for now. It could be anything. Ooh, VC funding. That seems interesting. Opportunity to work in Dorado, making the product launch. Yes, Harshita, we have something more interesting, more awesome than a Lamborghini. Okay, I do see scholarships here. I see goodies. I see travels. I see internship offers. I see money. I see vouchers. So many guesses. All of those are super interesting. So, yeah, guys, stay tuned. Tomorrow, we are going to reveal the hackathon prize pool, and you won't imagine what it is. So, yeah, stay tuned. It's going to be exciting. All right, guys, not to take much of your time, it was a little surprise I wanted to reveal. So, yeah, stay tuned for tomorrow. Anytime we might reveal the hackathon prize pool. If you have friends who are yet to register for the hackathon, ask them to register. You guys know the links, share them the links, share the links as much as possible. The registrations are still open till 17th of August. So yeah, utilize that time. If you have any friends, someone from your network who wants to join the hackathon, now is the time they should register. So yeah, we would call it a day today. It was a wonderful session. Start making your product hunt accounts, research about it, see how you can use it in your upcoming hackathon. All right. It was a wonderful session, everyone. Thank you for joining. Have a wonderful day ahead, evening for those who are in IST, and a wonderful day for people who are attending us from cross time zones. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye bye.